Hello, my fellow tape enthusiasts. My name is Connor. I live in Leeds in the UK, but you may know me better as Nightmare at Connor's House on Instagram or one of the co-hosts of the Evil Speaks podcast. So I would say I've been collecting since I was probably about 6. I inherited all of my dad's VHS when he transitioned over to DVD, but in about 2011, I got rid of my collection because I got accepted to go to university and I didn't really want to take my VHS to uni with me because I just thought that nobody liked VHS. So I unfortunately took them to the car boot and sold them for dirt cheap. In about 2015, I stumbled across a copy of Blood Beach on eBay for dirt cheap. And I'd never seen that film before, I've just seen the cover, so I grabbed it and that kind of sparked my collection back again. So I've been collecting hard from 2015 onwards. My collection is at about definitely over 500 tapes at the moment, with a lot more still to come in the post. I definitely have a bit of an addiction to eBay at the minute and I cannot stop buying. The collection is definitely above 500 tapes, which is going to be really difficult because in a few months I am moving from the north of the UK down to the south of the UK, and I've got a box and lug all of these tapes with me, which is going to be really difficult, but I love these babies so much and they are definitely coming with me. So as I mentioned, in 2015, I got a copy of Blood Beach off eBay for dirt cheap, which kind of sparked my VHS collection back again. And it kind of sparked me the joy of getting tapes through the post and just holding on to them. And it kind of just sparked everything again. So it was a US media copy of Blood Beach. So this is definitely my most prized tape at the moment because this tape kicked off the whole collection again, and it's like, it's not cut, it's just an absolute beautiful copy of Blood Beach. Well, in my mind, it is the most beautiful copy of Blood Beach because this is the tape that kicked it all back off in 2015 for me. I think I probably paid about £5 for it, and I thought that this was the only copy of Blood Beach that you could get, the US copy, but then I got 2 copies of the UK PAL edition. So these tapes alone sparked everything back on and off again. I absolutely love these tapes, as you cannot tell. I have so many of them, and if anybody else has any more, send them my way because this film started my collection back again. So I'd say my rarest tapes in my collection, that's a really difficult one actually, because like rarity is very subjective to individuals. Something that I deem to be rare might not be rare to yourself, or something that's rare in my area or even in the UK might not be super rare for somebody in the US or in Canada, etc. But some of the most rare tapes that I would probably say in my collection would be, I have a really nice copy of Terror on Tour on media, which is, you don't really see this one much in the UK, and when it does pop up it does go for a fair bit, and this copy is like really super clean as well, like really good condition. I also have a copy of Blood Harvest, which again you don't really see much in the UK pop up on eBay or anywhere, so Blood Harvest I would say is another super rare one in my collection. I have a Dead Alive copy of The Burning Moon, which I definitely know that this is a super rare copy because since I've been collecting, I think this has been the only copy in the UK that I've seen pop up. And I again got this dirt cheap a fair few years ago. And I know it's super expensive in the US because a couple of US collectors have spoke to me and kind of want this copy off me, but I would definitely say that's super rare, especially here in the UK. I have a really clean copy of Halloween on media. This tape is really expensive at the moment over here. Like you're going to be paying over £100 for this tape, and this is in perfect condition. Another rare tape that I've recently acquired actually is a copy of Deathbed. This film is really, really good. This film has some really good history behind it, where it's branded as the lost horror movie of the 70s. The director made this and even forgot about the fact that he made this film. But this would be a super rare one. I am after a sleeve for this, so if anybody has a spare sleeve for Deathbed, please hit me up because I desperately need one. Another rare one would be a SOV UK film called Drill Bit. I was after this film for the longest time, and I finally got a copy of it. Like, look at the back of that. Like, if that does not intrigue you, then like, I don't know what is. And again, this has some really cool history behind it. It was shot by Alex Chandham, who made this whilst he was at university. So it's only a short, but he created all of this, created all of the sleeves himself, and kind of sold them out of his uni house, which is really interesting. But this is definitely a super rare tape that I own. And the final rare tape I would probably say I own is a copy of Demon Cop. Now again, you want this tape in the UK, you are definitely paying over £100 at the moment. This is probably one of the rarest tapes I own, and it is an absolute terrible film, but an amazing rare tape. You definitely need this if you're a collector in the UK. You need Demon Cop, but get ready to pay money for it. So my Grail tape at the moment kind of changes all the time, but it is a film called Bad Karma. So it's from the same director who done Drill Bit. It was, I believe, his second film that he did, and I have missed out on that tape probably about 2-3 times at the minute, but I am in desperate need of Drill Bit. But I've got some contacts that might be able to get me a copy of it. So Bad Karma is definitely my Grail tape right now, but it changes all the time. Like a few collectors I speak to, you don't want to reveal your Grail tape that much, because if somebody has it and they know you want it, they will ramp that price up. But if anybody has a copy of Bad Karma, I have some money, let's chat, because I desperately need that film in my collection. Like, I needed it yesterday and the day before, so please, I'm praying to the tape gods that someone can sell me or trade me a copy of Bad Karma. I've been after a copy of Bloody Moon for a long time. I've been outbid on a few occasions, and a few have popped up on eBay for some crazy prices, and I'm not willing to pay kind of like over £60 for that tape at the minute. It is like, sometimes it can go for like £80 and above, but I've definitely seen it go for a lot cheaper. So a tape that I'm in need of that I don't have yet is definitely a copy of Bloody Moon. Definitely need a copy. So again, if you've got a copy, you're willing to trade or sell me, that's not a ridiculous price, please contact me, because I definitely would like a copy. So my favourite part of the community is just chatting to everybody in this community. I've made so many friends since I started my Instagram account. Now, I started my Instagram account maybe just over a year ago, when the UK went into its first lockdown during this coronavirus state. To be brutally honest, I thought there wasn't any collectors out there, or I didn't realise that the community was as big as it is. Since I opened up the account, chatting to everybody and knowing that everybody's super friendly and everybody's happy to give advice and to link like films that you're after, like that's probably been the best part of the community so far. Even down to like yourself, like people like VHSurfer just reaching out and wanting to chat to like collectors like myself. Like, this is like the best community I've kind of ever been a part of, and I just love everything about it. I love the fact that, like I said, everybody's super friendly. I've made some amazing friends over this year of having my Instagram account and kind of being out there as like a VHS collector and knowing more collectors. It's sparked, you know, me and two of my really good friends now creating a podcast because of the community. It's created friendships from myself with like US collectors. Like I've helped a load of US collectors get tapes here in the UK that they're after. Like I just love the fact that everybody is willing to help each other all over the love of VHS and the love of horror. Like there's nothing better than two people who have never met each other just chat over social media and become really good friends because of it. Like I just love that aspect, and especially because here in the UK we've been pretty much in a lockdown state for over a year now, where you're not able to go and like meet anybody. Having that contact with people over social media has been absolutely fantastic all over the love of horror and VHS. So that's the best part of the community I've known so far. The fact that everybody's very welcome, it's opening. The fact that I've learned so much about tapes and new films I've never heard of, and it's just been fantastic, and I wouldn't change it for anything. Like the community is beautiful. The more I've been on the Instagram and more I'm getting around the community, the more that I can help people out as well. So I have new collectors message me all the time asking for advice, and I'm happy to give as much advice as I possibly can. Like that's the part of the community I like, the fact that we are all here as like help. We can all help each other out. So here in the UK, it's very difficult to kind of find tapes out in the wild. Our charity shops at the minute, they seem to not want to take VHS in, just because it's very difficult for them to sell. And some charity shops here deem it as like fire risk to have VHS in, which I find absolutely like bonkers, to be fair. But some of the most notable pickups I've found in the wild would be, I got a copy of Jason X for 25p. So like, great to add this to the collection. And I went absolutely ballistic when I found this. I kind of shouted in the charity shop and had everybody look at me, but for 25p, you cannot go wrong. I also found the Alien Factor for 25p. Another great tape that like a couple of my friends just could not believe when I found was The Incredible Mountain Man. Again, got this for 25p at my local charity shop. And then the best pickup in the wild, I would probably say, so this wasn't from a charity shop, this was from a record store in Leeds that sold like VHS as well. I think it was like the record stores, I think it was the owner's private, like his own collection that he was getting rid of. But he sold me a copy of I Drink Your Blood for £5. Now this is like, for £5, this is unbelievable. Like as soon as I saw the cover, the font, like the back, just everything about it, like I was like, for £5 I have to take this off your hands. And this definitely would probably be the coolest thing I've found in the wild, be it like a record store, I Drink Your Blood. Never seen it until I owned it, and I'm so glad that I took it off him for a £5, because like, just look at it, it's fucking cool. Another good pickup I got out in the wild would be these 3 tapes here that me and a friend were talking about on Instagram. We were speaking about our childhood and about what we used to watch as children, and we got onto the conversation of celebrity deathmatch. So I went into a charity shop local to me, and funnily enough, right there on the VHS little stand that they have, I found these 3, and again, I was so over the moon. So it's round 1, round 2, and the greatest hits. This brings back so much of my childhood. Like even going back and watching some of the fights on here, like took me straight back to when I was a kid. You've got stuff like Leonardo DiCaprio against Jack Nicholson. You've got Spike Lee against Quentin Tarantino. Like Dennis Rodman against Michael Jordan. Like these 3 here definitely sum up my childhood here. And to get these for, I think I paid about £1 for all 3 of them. Like I was so over the moon. These will definitely be staying within the collection. So I went through a stage with my collection of kind of picking up every VHS that I saw in charity shops. I just felt really bad that these tapes would be just sitting on those shelves in the charity shop for so long. So I would basically pick up everything, especially when they were only like 25p each. But I got to a stage where I kind of needed to dwindle down my collection because I just don't have that much space in my one bed apartment. I went down just to obviously collecting horror, collecting wrestling tapes, but then I also got stuck with collecting like obscure tapes. So I picked up some, I collect these, like, if I can find them anytime, these RSPCA kind of how to train animal tapes. This one is keeping a pet budgie, which is unbelievable. Look at that guy. This is just unbelievable. So much hours of fun watching these. Like, I've got another one, which is an RSPCA one leading the way in animal care. I collect these really random UFO and alien interviews, just anything obscure and random that's kind of stuck on VHS, even down to these like computer tutorials. So this tape's from 1993 and it's teaching people how to use Microsoft and Windows computers. These, to me, just absolute gems. I think I got this for like about 50p, and I don't know, stuff like this which is kind of stuck on VHS and stuck in the past, to me is just so obscure and so amazing just to have hold of. It's kind of like a piece of history. Like, this tape is older than me, like 1993. I was only born in 92, and it's teaching you how to use like Microsoft. Just random bits of tapes here. But I definitely love a good obscure tape, as well as a good horror and definitely some wrestling. So I mainly collect horror, but I also collect some like Japanese deathmatch wrestling tapes. So I have a few tapes like the FMW kind of like deathmatch stuff. So I definitely love a little bit of wrestling, which is really cool because these are all from Japan, which again is like super cool. The fact that they've traveled over from Japan is really good. So yeah, I collect just obscure stuff really. I used to collect fitness videos, but my horror collection got to a point where like I just had no room for anything, so I kind of had to slowly get rid of stuff. So I now just solely stick to horror and wrestling, but not WWE or WWF or WCW. It has to be like obscure wrestling, like deathmatch wrestling, like FMW. Like, I will not collect anything else. Even though I still have some of my WWF stuff when I was a kid, I just don't collect that stuff anymore. I kind of fell out of WWE and it just went stale. So it has to be deathmatch. It's all about the blood. That's what I love. Like, this is why I collect horror, why I collect the deathmatch, because like I just want gore. I want bloods. I want blood, man. I want horror. Pure horror. So trading is something I've only recently started to get into. Like, I've always been put off by trading just in case the person on the other side of the trade doesn't actually send you the tape. I've heard a couple of my friends have like some instances where like they don't get the tape that they're after. So I've been always kind of put off. Plus, like, I don't really want to give away any of my tapes. I'd rather spend money than trade a tape. So like, probably in the past few months I've only just started to trade, but some notable trades I got in. So I have a friend on Instagram who lives in Germany, and he sent me over The Darkness, which I have been after for, again, a very long time. So I'm glad that I've done like a nice trade with that. And then he also sent me The Black Past, which, like, as soon as I didn't know this was coming. I only knew that this was coming, and then when he sent this as well, you don't understand how over the moon I was. So these are definitely two notable trades that I've had like outside of the UK. And I done a trade with a very good friend of mine. He's one of the co-hosts of the Evil Speaks podcast. He knew I was after a copy of Boarding House for the longest time, and he's outbid me on copies of the Boarding House on eBay, but he finally traded me one of his copies of The Boarding House, so this definitely was a very notable trade that I had. But the funniest thing is, he sent me this a week later. I got another copy of it off eBay, and then 2 days ago I won another copy. So after spending years trying to get a copy, and then my friend trading me this copy, I then win this copy and then have another copy. So now I have 3 copies of Boarding House. So I have 2 to keep, 1 to trade. I'm just trying to build that kind of like trade pile up, so I have some notable films to be able to trade with people, because I'm getting to a point now where I'm after some like really obscure, like rare tapes. So if I can build up my rare tapes as well to be able to trade to people, it will just make it a lot easier, I think. So they are definitely notable trades. So I have a eBay addiction right now. Like, I cannot stop buying tapes off eBay. I've got probably about another 8 tapes still to arrive that I bought this week off eBay, and more than likely I will have even more coming. The most newest tapes in my collection would be, I showed it earlier, but I got a copy of Demon Cop recently off eBay. I also got that second copy of The Boarding House come through, and I have another copy of this coming. I've recently got a copy of Cries in the Night, which I've been after this for the longest time and got at a really good price on eBay. And I also got a copy of the Alien Factor coming, which again, I needed this to finish off like a small collection that I've got going. So like the Alien Factor I finally got hold of. So those would be some of my newest tapes. I also got a really clean copy of The Night Beast coming. Now this is like, this tape I've been after for like the longest time, and it's similar to The Boarding House. I got this copy of The Night Beast like probably about 2 months ago, and then like literally about a week later, like another copy come up for like dirt cheap, and like I had to get it. Like, you spend like years and months waiting for these tapes, and then you finally get it, and then another copy just pops up, and it's really annoying. It's like the downfall of collecting sometimes, is you wait so long, and then as soon as you get it, about 50 pop up like all at once. But that would definitely be another notable tape that I got in recently. I just get tapes in all the time. I have like I said, I have definitely an eBay addiction, and I have an addiction of just like, I just love tapes coming through my post box, and I love opening them up and constantly getting stuff come through. Like, I don't own any kind of like streaming sites like Netflix or like Amazon Prime. Like, all of my shelves, I've got more shelves over there, all of my shelves, these are my streaming sites. So to keep getting films coming in is like definitely my addiction, but it has to kind of stop soon, because for one, I'm running out of space and I need to buy more shelves, and I need to stop buying because I'm moving house soon. I can't keep getting tapes in to then have to like move in a few months, so like it needs to stop. But it's never gonna stop because I love it so much. So some of the first tapes that I ever owned were, like I said, pass me downs that I got from my dad when he transitioned over to DVD. So some of them that I definitely still have a hold of is, so this Halloween H2O boot copy is the first ever tape that my dad ever gave me as a kid. This tape means a lot to me, and a tape that I would never get rid of, even though it's just a bootleg copy. Like, it was made for me by my dad, and there's just something special about this, even down to like the cover that he printed is completely off. Like, the spine is here when it should be here. But this tape has always been with me as a kid. It was my first ever tape, and I will never ever get rid of this, like, ever. Even though I own probably about 3 copies now of Halloween H2O, this one, the best one I have. Other tapes that I had as a kid that I still own now would be Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Like, I remember getting this for, I think, one of my birthdays as a kid that my dad gave me. I think he upgraded it to DVD and then slid it into my bag when I was going back home to my mum's. but I would, again, never get rid of this even though I own multiple copies of it now. This one is my childhood one that I had as a kid. And like I mentioned before, I have wrestling tapes, and I don't really collect WWF, WWE anymore, but these two I definitely won't get rid of, because again, these were given to me as a kid off my dad again, and I still own them now. They are a little bit weathered. There's like, oh no, this one doesn't have it. It's like broke, the cover's broke, there's like a little bit of mold on the sleeve, but these tapes I kind of watched constantly as a kid, and I will never ever get rid of these two, especially this, just because of that Iron Man match. Like, one of the greatest 1 hour Iron Man matches ever. Unfortunately, Shawn Michaels won, and I am a Bret Hart guy, but especially this one, love it, will never get rid of it. Even though I don't like WWE, WWF anymore, I will never get rid of this tape. Right guys, thank you ever so much for listening to me ramble on about my collection and about my VHS story. I hope you enjoyed it. And I want to say a massive, massive thank you to VHSurfer for reaching out and asking me to be a part of this Meet the Collectors. You don't understand how much of an honor this is, that like you asked me to come on. Like, thank you so much. Like, if you haven't already watched all of his videos, like, go binge watch them now, because like this guy is pumping out some like amazing videos here on YouTube. But thank you ever so much for joining me today. If anybody wants to message me and come chat, again, I'm Nightmare at Connor's house. If you're interested in listening to 3 UK horror collectors talk about horror movies and everything in between, catch us on Evil Speaks podcast on Spotify and Instagram. And thank you for joining me here at the Nightmare at my house. Ha 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 ha.